Hey, ¿qué pasa, Calexico? Welcome back to the podcast. Like always, before we begin, I want to thank a couple of people. First of all, I want to thank my sponsors. I want to thank Sergio Armenta and David Castellum. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home in the Imperial or San Diego counties, make sure you contact David Castellum. His phone number is 760-235-9576, and he's got over 20 years of experience in the business, so make sure you contact him. And you can also find him on Facebook. Just search David Castellum and you'll find him. Today I also want to thank, everybody out there, first responders, essential workers, our nurses, doctors, police officers, firefighters, people stocking our markets, truck drivers, anybody that's still out there working, in these really hard times and, that are trying to make our lives a little bit easier. I really appreciate everything you guys do. And today we have a really special guest, somebody that's helping, those people that we also need our help, our local business owners, our small business owners. Today's guest is Meredith Garcia. She's from the Imperial Valley Small Business Development Center. It's a kind of a long name, but from now on, I think we should mention it as the IVSBCD, just to make it a little bit short. But she's the director of the IVSBCD. Thank you, Meredith, for being here today.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Yes, I think it's going to be easier if we say IVSBDC, the Small Business Development Center. But it's great to be here. It's great to share, and I hear your podcast. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for taking this time off. I know you've been super busy. We've been trying to schedule something, but I can only imagine how many people are reaching out to you and reaching out for your help. Before we begin, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? We've been talking a little bit before we started recording, but tell us a little bit about where you grew up and how you got into this business.
Absolutely. Well, again, thank you so much for having me. My name is Meredith Garcia. I'm the director at Imperial Valley Small Business Development Center. So I started with this journey with the small business 4 years ago. I started as a business advisor and also was helping out the organization where I work with the administration part of the program. So that's where I started with the Small Business Development Center. But before my experience and my background, I was working for Imperial Valley Economic Development Corporation as business developer. And also before that, I have my background, it's in manufacturing. So I have experience in customer service for worldwide clients and also as a project manager for the aerospace industry. And also I have experience with small businesses in Mexicali and here in the Valley. So I have a combination of experience, but I feel that I have learned about so many different ways of doing business and industry. I grew up in Mexicali, but then I moved into the Valley. So I'm very grateful for me to having that decision, because the Valley have opened so many doors for me, and just learning about the community and meeting people from here from the Valley that I have been able to provide the service, or just meeting personally, for me has been like a great journey. So I'm here to help out.
Great. Can you tell us a little bit about what the IVSBCD does for the local businesses and small businesses?
Sure. So the Small Business Development Center, we are a nationwide program, and we are a resource partner with the U.S. Small Business Administration. So we are not the SBA, but we are partnering with them to provide counseling services. This is one-on-one counseling, trainings, and workshops for business owners, new businesses, and existing businesses. In our case, we're the center in which we offer the services here at County of Imperial. So we work with all the businesses here at the Imperial County, but my network is from San Diego as well. So we're a big program that it's divided by network and then by center. And all of the services that we provide, it's at no cost and it's confidential. If we have a business owner that comes into our office and have a meeting with one of the business advisors, everything that you discuss, it's confidential. So we want to make sure that your information is just between you and the advisor and nothing else. And also, you're not going to pay anything. Everything is free of charge, even our trainings and workshops. So it's a really amazing program. And we have been able to work with many different business owners in different fields. And we're looking forward to expand our services, to work more, and to have more program for our business owners here at Imperial Valley.
What are some of, like, for instance, if I have a question with a permit, regulations when it comes to, I don't know, fire marshal, stuff like that. That's some of the things that you would help a local business with?
Yes, so part of the services that we offer, like I mentioned, we work with early stage businesses or new businesses. If you have a question and you're looking for opening any sort of business, well, we work with businesses that they're federally approved. That's important to say. In which, where to start, where should I go, what business license should I need, the licenses if you're providing any specific work, if you're a contractor, for example, that you need a special license from the state of California. What we will do with you is just give you a list and help you to build that list to know exactly where to go and what are the steps that you need to follow. So also there are many questions about business structures. Should I be a sole proprietor? Should I be an LLC? Those kind of questions are the ones that we discuss with you. And depending on what is your goal and what are you looking for, we help you to guide through that process. So that's one part of what we do. Also part of the counseling services, if you're looking for access to capital, for example, you want to open a business, but you don't have the money. So we help you through the business plan writing and looking for different sources of funding for you to access and see what is your final decision as a business owner. But yes, it's an overall.
Okay, so like pretty much anything that a small business owner or new business owner might have questions with, you guys can help them out.
We don't do legal. That's important to say. But we work with partners. So if we have any questions that we're not able legally to respond, and we will always make sure that we refer you to a resource partner that you can get access to that information.
In the last couple of months, with this whole pandemic going on, how has the focus of the IVSBDC, how has it changed? How has that focus changed? What are you guys focusing now on?
Well, as we all know, this pandemic has been just changing for all of us. We feel the struggle. We know that for our business owners, changing the focus right now, we're seeing a lot of businesses that they're not focusing on growth, they're focusing on maintaining their business. So back in March, when everything happened, we were already working with an access to capital program in which we work with all the banks. We work with different funding institutions like microfinancing. So we're already, we have that prepared ongoing because that's part of the advice that we provide, but everything switched into the federal programs for emergency relief. So everything started as the conversation, according to our president, the help for small business owners. So the Small Business Development Center, it's the agency that actually provides that service that the federal government is talking about as helping out the small businesses. So everything switched back into, okay, what we have, what are going to be the programs that it's going to be available for small business owners for them to obtain capital to meet their financial obligations and to maintain their business. Right now, we're seeing a lot of business owners that unfortunately they needed to make a decision and they needed to lay off employees. So what it's out there and just keeping daily information about if it's not through a loan, if you are an employee that was laid off, okay, there is a pandemic unemployment assistance program from the state. So just all the programs that we're working with, but they were turned into emergency relief and see exactly what are the business owners need. Right now, we're moving into different stages in which collaborating with the Recovery Business Task force in the county of Imperial to see how are we going to be moving our business owners in these opening stages that we have heard about right now, that we're in stage 2 lower risk. So what does that mean? How can I, as a business owner, adapt to that and see where can I start planning, or if I need funding to. Many of them, it is about getting ready with the personal protection equipment. That's an investment that you didn't have part of your budget, of your original budget. So what can I do? Those are kind of examples that we're working on a daily basis, and that all of the planning, all the workshops needed to basically switch on what is needed and how can we better respond and be proactive, not reactive, to help out our small business owners.
One of the programs that we've, even if you're not a business owner, you've heard, because it kind of didn't go as planned, was a PPP. Is that program still in place? Are local businesses here in the Valley still eligible, or are they still applying for it?
Yes. So to provide a little bit of background, back in March, when the Congress was working on, okay, we're going to provide funding for our small business owners nationwide, there was 2 programs that were launched by the U.S. Small Business Administration, which is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, the ADL program. So that program, it's still available, but only for agriculture businesses, in which you can apply for working capital. It's a really great program, and we have seen businesses that they apply in the beginning, like when everything started, and now they're getting their funding. But now the applications are limited only for agriculture businesses. And then they launched the Paycheck Protection Program, the PPP, the one that you just mentioned. So this program is by the Small Business Administration directly with a lender. So you work with your bank or any other certified lender by the U.S. Small Business Administration, and just if you're looking for payroll funding that you need help on that side, that's the purpose of the loan. So yeah, there was 2 different. In the beginning, the money basically ran out. So there was, like, from one day to another, there was no money. Applications were basically closed, and there was a second round of funding and budget allocation from the Congress, and that money is still available. So if you're working as a small business owner and your bank it's not accepting applications anymore, you can let us know, and we're working with all the lenders to see who's still working with that. In the beginning, the lenders, they were like working only with customers. Right now, we have seen lenders to be more flexible and working with even non-customers, just to help them to apply. So that's the source of funding that's still available and still going. Local lenders in the Valley, they have done an amazing job in helping out our business owners. So for the people who's watching us and hearing us, if they have any questions, they can let us know, and we know who's still open for that. So yes, it's been a challenge, and it's an opportunity for all of us. But this program still part of the funding sources that any small business owner can apply for.
In terms of rent, a lot of residents are being kind of like helped out with when it comes to rent. Are local businesses also being helped out with like rent forgiveness programs, or how are they handling that?
So for rent and for other business expenses, the Paycheck Protection Program does have very specific guidelines, in which the purpose of the loan is to help you cover the payroll. 75% of the amount that you're approved should be allocated for payroll expenses. And you can utilize the rest 25% for other business expenses. So our first recommendation for the clients, it's like negotiate with your landlord and see if you can have like a plan in which you can defer the payments. That's the number one, because we want to make sure that our business owners are having all the support. We understand that also landlords, they have a business. So it's just like a combination between both. but it's just like if we help each other, we can find a way. Also, there is other programs. We work with Accion. It's a microfinance and nonprofit. They're working with different projects and different emergency funds. Also, the County of Imperial launched 2 weeks ago a business stabilization lending program, in which is basically funding for working capital meaning rent and utilities and other business expenses. So if you negotiate and we know that you still have the commitment to cover your rent, just let us know and we can just find a way that you can access any program. We work with the cities, we work with everyone, basically just to have all the list of resources available.
So like if a local business is planning on maybe taking out a loan, not like PPP or something else, how would you advise them to use that money? Like, is it, would you have them use it on, electrical, rent, employees? What would be the best route to, be spending that money?
Well, my recommendation for the business owners is, first of all, have your list of priorities to see which are your financial obligations that you have to cover month by month for you to maintain your business. And from there, if your rent, utilities, negotiate your payments and see how can you defer. That way you can just have minimum your expenses as a business, at least for a couple of months between we're getting back into this new normal. And from there, depending on the amount that you need, that's where we can just see what are the funding options available. And we understand that many of these programs, there are loans, there are not grants. They do have forgivable portions in which we can help you to explain how to access that forgivable portion, but it's still a loan. And we don't want our business owners back in 6 months or 1 year and that they are getting back in business, but they have all this debt. That's something that we don't want. We want them to be successful. So first of all, negotiate, see where you are, how much money do you need, and then we see what is available, like what is out there, what programs can help you. But that's the step by steps that we have been following.
You've been in this field for a while now, and was it ever part of a business plan to have like PPE or have like a fund for like these types of situations before you even start a business?
Actually, no. And this is probably part of the new normal that we'll need to include in our financials, right? Have a reserve not only for anything that could happen in the business, inventory, but also have available your personal protection equipment that you need to for your employees and for your customers. So no, this is kind of like a new expense that will be staying. We know that the supply chain for this equipment, there has been a shortage, but we're working in collaboration with the County of Imperial and with other organizations to find out exactly what we have and how can business owners can access. One of the recommendations that we have is in order to reopen, there is one site protection or site plan from the County of Imperial that it's not mandatory, but it's a really good workflow that you can just verify to see if you have everything that you need to protect your employees and your customers. You want to build that confidence and that trust that you're taking care of your business to attract your clients again. And personally, if I see a business that they are taking all their considerations, I want to go there because I'm going to feel that, okay, they're taking care of themselves. That means that it's a safe place to go. So this is kind of like the environment that we want to build, but this is also another expense that you want to add.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna mention the store, but my wife, goes to this store and she's like, "Oh, I love going there because once somebody pays and they're using the touch pad for the debit card or whatever, an employee comes by and cleans it, and they're on top. They won't let you touch your card until they clean it. So yeah, but at the end of the day, like you said, it's somebody else that needs to be there, that you're paying for them to take care of these things that before you didn't plan on doing.
Yes, and that's something else as part of the expenses or just how things are changing in the management of a business. Also, it's to having personnel that it's being on top of that, because you have the personnel that it's part of your sales, that they're having their inventory, like your regular operations, but also you want to have someone that it's taking care and that it's making sure that everything is well in position, and that you're covering like your physical distancing, and that there is cleaning, those kind of stuff that you haven't considered before, that you have maintenance and you have cleaning, but not as often as we have right now. So
yeah I think that we often overlook that, the little things like that, like wiping down a surface or a doorknob or a handle, and now that that's going to be like a priority now, that if you want to, because people talk about businesses are opening and people are going out, but to me and people are kind of like a little bit nervous about it, but to me, like I've always said, if I don't feel safe, I'm not gonna go out and shop myself. So if this business is making me feel safe, then I'll go out there and yeah, that's something that they're gonna have to think of having somebody that's physical and visible to the customer. That way they feel safe and they know that the store is clean and well kept.
Yes.
I know that we're often hearing these bad news about businesses struggling and trying to survive, but I'm sure that you've heard good news of businesses that are thriving right now during this pandemic. Can you share a little bit about some of the stories that you've heard about good news, businesses thriving?
Yes, well, I have the opportunity to work with businesses in many fields, and we see any kind of business, and we have seen really great stories in which business owners are adapting and they're innovating. We have seen restaurants that before the pandemic started, they didn't have like an online platform, or they didn't have like, they weren't like in Uber Eats or Postmates, and now they are just willing to add this technology to maintain their business, and that they're thriving. They're doing more business as before the pandemic, or we're seeing business that they have switched their operations to have a personal protection equipment as hand sanitizer or other stuff that's going to be needed. So yes, we have seen many entrepreneurs that they are willing to not only change their mindset, but also to collaborate and to provide something to our community that will help their business, but also will serve into the community. So we have seen a little bit of everything. We have seen really sad stories, but also we have seen really great success stories that we're working with. So we're going to be launching those success stories for everyone to know. But yes, we have great leaders. We have great examples in our community, and that they're just thinking out of the box, and they're doing great stuff. So yes.
Yeah, thinking out of the box is something that it's most definitely needed when you have a business and you're hit in the face with these new circumstances that you need to adapt. What was the thing I was going to ask you? We talk about these businesses trying to open, and the governor just announced new. I think we're moving into another phase, but it's in reality, even though that the state is going into a new phase, this all depends. For our local businesses, this all depends on where the county is at, where the it varies. We could go into phase 2, or I don't know what the phase is, but we need to be ready for it. And
Exactly.
right now we know that, the Imperial County has had a big spike in cases. So we're not ready to physically move to the next phase, are we? Or
Yes. Yes. So this week there was actually a press release from the County of Imperial explaining the governor's roadmap and where we are. According to our public health, we are in stage 2 lower risk. This means that essential business and some retail and church are going to go back. Retail, meaning that before 2 weeks ago, they could open only for pickup or for curbside kind of business. Right now, they are going to be moving forward to actually having people inside the business. So this is where we are right now. And yes, the state of California is moving as a state to one stage up. But as county, depending on where you are, and with this criteria and measurements, we are not there yet. So one of the things that we have been promoted, and we are part of the Imperial Business Recovery Task Force, in which this task force, it's integrated by the Chambers of Commerce and other leaders here in the community to promote the being conscious. And if you can work from home, work from home. If you don't have essential business, don't be out, because this is one of the, as a community, if we work together, we're going to be back on business faster. But if we don't take responsibility, then we're not going to be able to be back onto this new normal as we all want. And we do see a lot of businesses like fitness centers or just hair salons that they are part of the stage 3. So to get there, then we need to make our homework. And this is just an invitation for our community that we want to help you to be open, to be back. But first of all, we need to make sure that we are safe and that we're taking our responsibility to just have the physical distancing and all these measurements that I know we all have heard, but it's critical for all of us to be back in business. This is what we have to do, and this is our responsibility right now.
yeah, I mean, as a community, some of these, hair salons, we have several gyms that are locally owned, and we might know these people. They might be our neighbors. So, in order for us to help them, we need to, do our little, or, put it in our little grain of salt and, stay home, go out as only for essentials, groceries and stuff like that. And try to, like you said, bring things to a little bit back to normality, and help these businesses, open. If it's not 100%, but at least, help them open and help them survive and help them keep serving in our community. So where can people visit you guys, or how are you guys helping, these local businesses right now, and with this situation we're going through?
Yes, so like I mentioned before, our services, we have counseling, and so we have business advisors that work directly with you as one-on-one counseling. We have regular business hours. Obviously, everything is virtually through Zoom or phone, depending with the client, depends what they need. They can call the office or at the 760-212-9800, and I can give you that information. Or also you can visit our website at the IVSBDC.org. There you can see all the services that we have, and we're actually having a lot of on-demand webinars in different topics about how to reopen a restaurant, how to maximize your PPP fund, just to see like all the topics that we have. And all this program, it's at no cost. So in our website, you can visit and access anything that you may need, and you can schedule your appointment with your business advisor. Could be me or could be someone on my team. So
okay, yeah, and I'll put your website and phone number and all this stuff on the show notes, on the notes for the episode, so that people who need that information can get it. Y para los que quieran escuchar esto, la mayoría de esta información en español, esta mañana Meredith tuvo una entrevista con Eli Burgaño de Beyond Borders. Y los quiero redirigir ahí si quieren escuchar esta información en español. Yo la escuché hace ratito antes de conectarme con Meredith para darme una idea también de qué se trata todo esto. But yeah, anything else that you would like to add that we didn't talk about?
Well, first of all, nuestros servicios son bilingües. So we speak both English and Spanish. You can talk to us. And second, just a message to our community for small business owners. If you have any questions, anything that you may have or concerns, we have a group of advisors that you can talk to. So don't feel that you're by yourself, that you're alone. You're not. We are here to offer our services. You can schedule an appointment or you can talk to us, and we're going to help you the best that we can and facilitate the resources that we have. So you're not alone. We can help you.
Yeah. All right, Meredith, thank you for, taking this time. I know you're super busy. And I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the work that you're doing. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.